Hi, I'm Monica Weitzel. I host a weekly program called Community Hotline that focuses on nonprofit organizations doing amazing work every day. This week, we start off talking with Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon. They will tell us how their work in food justice led them to create the Rockwood Farmers Market. Following that, we will hear about the fun to be had at the White Salmon Spring Festival that takes place in the Columbia Gorge at the end of this month. And finally, the Oregon Youth Foster Connection will explain the life-changing work they are doing in the community through advocacy, activism, and leadership. It's all here, coming up next on Community Hotline. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Glad you joined us tonight. We're going to start off talking with the Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon. They have all sorts of things going on in the community, but specifically tonight we'll talk about the Rockwood Farmers Market. So with me to represent Ecumenical Ministries is Jenny Holmes. You are the project director of the Rockwood Food Opportunity. Welcome.
Welcome.
And Anna Burnham, you are the Food Justice Coordinator. Yeah, nice to have you here.
Thanks, good to be here.
Yeah, well, now Ecumenical Ministries they do so many different things. Can you give us a little bit of history and maybe tell us what the mission is of the organization?
Sure. Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon has been around for about 40 years, and its predecessor organizations were around about 60 years before that. So
Wow.
There's a long history. It is an association of congregations, denominations, ecumenical and interfaith organizations all around the state who are working together to improve the lives of Oregonians. And we have a focus on community ministries, public policy, particularly focused on poverty, hunger, housing, healthcare.
So you do advocacy work?
We do some advocacy work. We bring people of faith together to advocate on issues of common concern for the most vulnerable in our communities. And we also provide community ministries that range from housing to emergency food, to healthcare and many others, refugee resettlement. So it's a pretty
Great
wide
need for all of
spectrum.
that. Yeah.
And we're driven by our values to live out our faith in very tangible ways in the public square and in our communities.
I like that. That's a lot of pressure there. Yeah. Behave in a certain way because I'm representing this organization. I mean, that's great. That's actually living your ministry. So tell me about your work in East County, because we are air all throughout Multnomah County, but specifically East County. There's been a lot of issues lately that have come up with the gentrification of Northeast Portland, people moving out here, the huge immigrant population that we have here. I was recently told that there's 88 different languages spoken in East County, which is huge. And it's very difficult for people to deal with that, to know how to help those who don't speak the same language, and for those people to learn their way and navigate through the system. What kinds of things have you been able to do for East County?
Yes, well, we've been interested in what's been going on in East County for at least the past 10 years, noticing the shifts in population, being more aware of some of the issues with accessing healthy, culturally appropriate food at affordable prices. And we've been focused on the concept of community food systems for over 17 years.
You're kind of ahead of the time.
Yeah.
Really?
We had some conferences, a whole series of conferences, annual conferences called A Place at the Table, where we explore different food issues. Our goal was to help, especially the faith community, start thinking beyond just hunger relief, because once a person is fed, you haven't really solved the whole problem.
Right. And there's been a lot of food pantries and that kind of thing, which was great, and people need them, but you're going beyond that.
That's right. We're trying to facilitate that move from charity to justice. The two go together. We need both. We do both at Ecumenical Ministries, and most people of faith would say that those are two things that you hold in balance and in tension with each other. Because we have immediate needs that we need to serve, and we also have long-term issues that we need to begin working on in a more systematic and systemic way in our communities.
Very well said. So, Anna, how do you fit into all this? What is your role as a food justice coordinator?
Sure. So I just recently graduated college, and
nice job.
I am an AmeriCorps volunteer and a Jesuit volunteer, so I'm doing a year of service. And I've always really loved food and kind of the cultural significance and nutrition and everything surrounding food. And so this position really appealed to me. I like the title Food Justice Coordinator. It just really kind of seemed to encapsulate everything I wanted to do. And my role, I have several different roles within the Rockwood Food Opportunity Project. I help run a community garden up on 196 in Gleason. That has a really culturally diverse gardening group, which is really cool to experience and get to know those people and their stories. And then my big project has been the Rockwood Farmers Market, which is opening this Friday. It's very scary.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. But yes, we're going to open as part of Rock the Block. So it'll be really great to get that publicity right away and that kind of immediate customer base. And yeah, it's been a really long process. It's kind of crazy that it's finally starting.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And having it correspond with the Rock the Block event is brilliant, actually, because that's a huge event in the Rockwood community. I mean, it's only its third year, but really last year I saw all these community resources, organizations coming together to get the word out about what they do, and it was very impressive. So I think adding the farmers market will be beautiful.
Yeah.
And so the farmers market's going to be on Fridays, is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be Fridays from 3 to 7 p.m. every Friday until the end of October, and we're at Plaza del Sol, which is Southeast 187th and Stark. And we're just really excited to create more community space. I think, like you spoke to that with the success of Rock the Block, there's clearly a craving in East County for really healthy and very family-friendly community spaces and events, and we're really hoping the market can do that. We had a community forum on the farmers market back in February, just kind of asking people what they wanted. And more than anything, obviously people want produce and fresh food, but more than anything is just that kind of creation of a community space, which we're hoping that the farmers market can be for people. So
I hope so too. I know that people that have needed to get food from food pantries and whatnot, they've had trouble in the past being able to get that fresh food, the fresh produce.
Yeah.
So now SNAP, you can use your card and people can get the fresh produce at the farmers market. Is that right?
Yes, we have everything set up so we can accept SNAP. People bring their SNAP card, we give them tokens, and they can use those tokens at all the vendors. And we're really pleased to have support for the SNAP match. We'll do the first $5 of every purchase. Thanks to Whole Foods Market, thanks to the Farmers Market Fund and Umpqua Bank for Rock the Block. So, and I think we just had another congregation that came on board.
yeah, we had a congregation who just kind of heard about us in a newsletter, and they have a monthly kind of women's group, and they just kind of decided to give half of their monthly donation to the SNAP match. And I don't know, it's really cool, that kind of community rallying around the values and the morals of the market, and people want more access.
I'm sure they do. If another organization wanted to do something similar, you can use the funds, I assume.
Oh yes, definitely.
That was very emphatic.
We definitely can.
And what about volunteers? Are you in need of volunteers for this project?
Yeah, we are definitely in need of volunteers. There's a lot of infrastructure with the farmers market, so just set up, tear down, that's going to be a huge thing. And then just kind of greeters at the market is always good. Greet people as they enter the space, hand out flyers. And another huge need we have is, we really want it to be kind of a hub for community resources. So we're hoping to do classes or workshops.
Like food,
Food
cooking
demos,
demonstrations?
anything. If anybody, wants to give a workshop in some sort of dance or,
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
And
those
we're-
things draw people to the market.
Yeah, and we're really looking for, that's Bay, that's one of our vendors.
So this is at the Plaza del Sol.
Yeah,
Yes,
so we had a
so-
pilot market back in October,
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of a test run to get everything on the, onto space,
Right.
work out the kinks. That's one of our vendors,
Look at
Bay.
those flowers.
Yeah, the flowers are a huge hit. People absolutely
Yeah,
loved them.
yeah.
But definitely a need for volunteers would be set up, tear down, and people sharing their skills and talents.
Yeah,
Be
I like that idea. They look like they're having fun.
Oh, yeah. That's Tito. He's one of our craft vendors. He's going to be back this year, so we're
Good,
excited to
good.
have him.
That would be really great for people of different cultures to be able to share their, their recipes, maybe from
Yes.
Yeah.
from their countries, from their homelands.
Yeah,
That would
and
be-
that's absolutely one of the best things about Rockwood is the cultural diversity.
It's amazing.
It's
yeah.
amazing. It really needs to be tapped into, and again,
Yeah.
we're kind of hoping the market will be that space.
Good. So what can we expect if we? What were the hours again? You said on Fridays.
3 to 7
3
p.m.
to 7. Okay, so I show up at the market. What can I expect? How many vendors do you have? Do you have a rough estimate of how many you're going to have there?
Sure. Yeah. Right now we have about 9 vendors, and we're growing.
Okay. So there's room for more.
There's
Oh,
definitely
yes.
room for
Okay.
more.
Okay. So that's important to know. Yeah.
And something really unique about our market is that we have a lot of farmers just starting out, which is pretty
Oh,
unique.
What an
and we-
opportunity for them.
Yeah, and so they are very willing to grow what the people in the community want, which
Wow.
is really unique, we think.
Supply and demand.
Yeah,
imagine that.
yeah. So we had some great farm visits last Wednesday, went out to the spaces, and they were very emphatic about wanting to grow what people want to buy. I mean, it
Wow.
makes sense for them. So we're kind of growing with our vendors, which we think is pretty cool and really unique.
Yeah, it's kind of a different model. A lot of local, I mean, is it pretty much people centered around East County, or how far do your vendors come?
Yeah, we're definitely very committed to local. Most of our vendors do actually come from Gresham or past. We have a couple from Corbett. The farthest south we have is Oregon City. So it is very
yeah.
hyper-local food, and it's going to be fresh and delicious.
Good. So you talked about encourage people maybe to dance or whatever at the market. Will you have some kind of entertainment there periodically? Have you looked into that? Is that part of the whole plan?
This is definitely an appeal if anybody's looking for a space to play.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. We're open to all kinds of music. Anybody who just kind of wants to come play on a Friday afternoon.
This sounds like a great opportunity for budding musicians, for
Yes.
farmers starting out, for people who want to volunteer. You've got a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
And to share your recipes from when you were growing up or whatever. Yeah, it's a good opportunity. So if people are interested in being part of it, go to the website.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about the food justice part of this. Explain to me how this all ties in. How does a farmer's market help address those issues?
Well, one of our primary reasons for doing the farmers market in Rockwood was because a grassroots group of community members went out and surveyed their neighbors in the fall of 2014, and they did very thorough surveys. Had long conversations with people in their neighborhood in various apartment complexes throughout Rockwood. And they found that one of the most wanted food resources that people didn't have, that they wanted to have, was a farmer's market. And so we are following up on that desire of the community. And also with the Catalyst site in the middle of Gresham, the triangle off of where Burnside site and Stark come together. There's a lot happening there right now with the City of Gresham's redevelopment commission.
Right. That's going to be
and
something fun and exciting, and
yeah.
a whole community
Yeah.
development
Great
there.
space.
yeah, and trying to create a food ecosystem there was an incentive for us to work with the city, to work through all of the different permitting processes and so forth, which can be a bit
Challenging,
daunting
yeah.
at times, to have it there in the heart of Rockwood, where there used to be a grocery store.
Right.
And begin developing that relationship of farmers and food producers to that site. We envision people that have a recipe and want to develop a food business starting out there, and then maybe expanding, maybe having a restaurant or creating a food product that is sold maybe even throughout the Northwest or throughout the world. But we consider it an incubator for potential businesses that will bring jobs to the community.
Start a business. There you go.
Yeah.
Before we run out of time, school kids. Can they come and tour the market? I mean, I know that you'll mostly be during the summertime, or if daycares or a Boys and Girls Club. If, would you be open to people coming in, sharing that with the kids? Because I think educating kids about where their food comes from is pretty important.
Yes, and we hope with some funding next year that we will be able to adopt the Market Sprouts program that was developed by the Beaverton Farmers Market. They've given us permission to use their curriculum.
Yeah.
And it's a great.
And is that the focus of it? Educating?
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's so much need to educate kids on, like, hey, this is a vegetable and it's delicious, and this is the farmer who grew it, and I think that's an incredible opportunity. So we'd really love to have, kind of maybe day camps or field trips from daycares or something. Really hoping to boost up the children's activity kind of capacity of the market. We have a lot of really great ideas.
It sounds very exciting. And we're out of time, but I really appreciate you both coming on, because it sounds like a great project and a huge, wonderful, positive addition to the Rockaway community.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching Community Hotline. This segment is all about being part of your community. So, you know where you can volunteer, you know where you can donate, you know how to become part of it by listening to these ladies here. And don't go away, we'll be right back with more of Community Hotline.
Here to shoot my documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing.
This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready, camera one.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready, camera two.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Ready, camera three. Take three.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Local government is a very important part of our daily lives. You might think the decisions that affect us most are made in Washington, D.C., but frequently what happens at the local level has the biggest impact. Safe and clean streets and parks, local ballot measures to ensure funding for police. These are just a few of the issues that matter most. At MetroEast, we provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of local government so you can see what's happening in your East County cities. Watch city councils, planning commissions, and school boards on these cable channels or online.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Now we're going to talk about a fun event coming up in the community. It is the White Salmon Spring Festival, and I am lucky enough to have with me the event and parade coordinator of said festival. Welcome, Amanda McDonald.
Yeah, Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So the White Salmon Spring Festival, we kind of talked about how most towns, big or small, have some kind of festival going on.
Yes.
What is it about this festival that is unique and makes it special, and why should people go?
The White Salmon Spring Festival, this is our 39th year, so the festival started in 1976. I've been involved with the festival for the last 14 years. Wow. I would say why I would invite people to come visit White Salmon is it's a beautiful area. The community is amazing and very welcoming, very easy to talk to, and we enjoy having a good time.
I like that. And it is a beautiful area. It's right on the gorge there.
Right, yes. We're across from Hood River, Oregon.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice drive from this area.
It's a beautiful drive, yeah.
So why did you get involved in it in the first place? How did you happen to become involved in it 14 years ago?
Well, it's a kind of a funny story. I'm sure my husband would have wished that I had not read the Enterprise newspaper, that edition, that was looking for volunteers to help with the festival. There was quite a few of the members that had been putting it on were going to be leaving, and so they were looking for some new volunteers.
New blood.
New blood, and I decided, it was something that I enjoyed during my youth, visiting the festival and having fun with all of my friends.
So you grew up there?
I did grow up, yes, in White Salmon. Graduated from the high school there, so yeah.
So you got involved and you're still there 14 years later.
I'm still there, yes. Sometimes I
can imagine. As the event coordinator, that's a huge job, but the parade, on top of that, parades are a lot of work.
They are a lot of work, and honestly, I love the parade. It's so much fun to see the community come out together to enjoy the event. It's a great way for the local businesses to also give back to the community that's been supporting them all year.
So who are some of your partners in the event? Do you have local businesses? Or,
oh yeah, this event cannot go on without our local sponsors. We have Umpqua Bank, White Salmon Bingen Rotary Club is very involved, our Northwest Natural Gas, Beneventi's Pizza, White Salmon Eye Care, SDS Lumber Company, Pacific Rim Brokers, Harvest Market, McCoy Holliston Insurance, Ron Tonkin Subaru, and of course the Oddfellows Goodwill Lodge. So, and without those, and many more sponsorships.
There's a whole bunch more that are involved.
There's many more, yes, but these are our main platinum sponsors of the event.
So the event is this coming weekend.
Coming up this weekend.
And so is it Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday?
Yep, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we started off Friday night. We have the gazebo stage, and we also have a main stage. So there's a lot going on for the all ages, really.
What kind of entertainment are we talking about?
We actually have a play on Friday night at the gazebo. The Henkel Middle School and Columbia High School Drama Club are going to do the Wizard of Oz play for the community.
The middle school and the high school.
And the high school. They're co-doing
That's pretty
this
cool.
play.
I don't think I've ever heard of that happening before. I like that though.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I think that makes White Salmon such a fun community, and we're very much family.
So are the younger kids the munchkins?
Yeah, I think they're going to have some fun with that.
That would be really fun. So then, musical acts or?
Yes, we definitely have music. We starting on Friday night. We have Los Amigos de la Sierra. They'll be on the main stage from 6 to 7:30, and then we have rock and roll band 10:30. We'll be playing from 8 o'clock till midnight. So there is a beer garden, and we will be serving Memalus Wines, which is a local winery to our area.
I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So what else can a family expect? I imagine this is a very family-friendly event. If you have kids, young kids, obviously the parade is going to be a hit. Are there other things for kids to do there?
The youth talent show is Friday night at the gazebo. The Binge and White Salmon Rotary Club sponsors that event. One thing that we do a little bit different with that event is any child that gets up from the age of 18 up to the age of 18, any type of talent gets money to spend at the event.
Oh, really?
So it's not where we have a third, second, or first place winner. We give everyone who participates. So share your talent and you'll get some money.
I love that.
to spend at the event.
How fun.
Yeah.
So I assume you have vendors there, then that's what you
we
saying.
have about 50 vendors, the general and the food vendors, merchandise vendors, informational booths. We got a little bit of everything. We also have a doubles tennis tournament, a basketball tournament for the youth. We have a run and walk on Sunday we try and do something for all the age groups.
You have a lot going on. That is
It's a
probably
busy weekend.
one of the most comprehensive festivals I've ever heard of for really a pretty small town.
Right, yeah, and all day Saturday we have events going on with the Sweet Adeline singing, White Salmon Jazz Band performs. We also have some salsa and swing dancers that are coming to do a lesson with the community.
Oh, really?
And the belly dancers, of course, will be there.
You're gonna have a flash mob with all the people from the festival.
Should be a lot of fun. Yes.
So I heard that there were some storytellers that are involved with it. What is that about?
Myrna DeBolt is going to be speaking on Sunday from noon to 1 o'clock, and she is just a local storyteller that
She's been around the community for a long time.
Yes, very long time, yes.
So tell me, Amanda, that you grew up there. You grew up in White Salmon. You've explained a little bit about what makes it special, but do you want more people to move to the area, or you just want them to come visit and go away, like we on Oregon always tell people?
I hear a lot of people say that they like people to come visit and go away. As long as we don't get too big, I don't mind new members to the community. I think White Salmon is a very open community, very respectful, and that's one thing I love about the event is to watch the community get together, have a great time, talk with each other. You know, we all work jobs, we're all busy, so it's nice to see. And one thing about our event is we have it the same weekend every year, so it kind of becomes a reunion for people coming back to the area to visit with family and friends.
Yeah, plan on it. And so people in the entire general area here, if they want to come over and share that time with you, this would be a good weekend to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just coming down and Hood River with all of their breweries and wineries. You know, we have a lot to offer even on the White Salmon side with the Everybody's Brewing there. So
you have quite a few wineries there too, I know.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a lot to do. So you probably have a Chamber of Commerce that's, I assume, that's involved and lets people know about all the good things to do in the area.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite thing growing up about White Salmon?
Gosh, I like the energy of the community. I liked that it seemed there was a lot for youth to get involved with with the adults, and you know, with Rotary we have you know, they're getting the children involved with the foreign exchange program.
Oh, so, do you have a certain city that you have a foreign exchange?
We have 2 inbound and 2 outbound. So each year we vote on two. We have a lot of kids from the school now that are getting used to us doing that program.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people applying, and it's really hard to choose one or two of them to be able to be involved with that event. But our Rotary Club gets very involved with we invite them to every Tuesday meeting. They're involved to all of our events,
Really?
invited,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
It's
good.
a lot of fun.
I like the idea of raising your kids in a community where they're involved in volunteer work, where they know that to make a community work that you all have to put in. And it sounds like White Salmon's that kind of a community.
A lot of volunteerism, yeah.
So do you still need more volunteers for this event, or you got that nailed down by now?
You know, we can always use more volunteers. I would definitely say that if you're going to walk up to me and tell me something I should be doing at the festival differently, join the committee. I'm going to ask you to join the committee. It's a lot of hard work. I don't get paid to do it. It's all volunteer, and I do it from the goodness of my heart. I enjoy the community, and we try and bring in a lot of events that are for all age groups.
Yeah,
so
that's what
there's
it sounds
something
like.
for everyone.
So if somebody were interested, what if they didn't live in White Salmon? Could they still be on the committee and help out?
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah,
They might bring a different perspective to it.
Exactly, yeah. They might have some new ideas that we haven't thought of, so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else that we should know about the White Salmon Spring Festival?
Well, I would just like to mention on Saturday night we have an AC/DC tribute band, Live Wire, that's playing from 8 to midnight.
I hear they're really good,
fun.
actually.
They are
Yeah.
really good, yeah. A lot of fun. We also have a church service on Sunday. That's 3 churches are participating in that service. So I would just say we also have the Birds of Prey that are coming in on Saturday. That'll be at the gazebo. That's from the Dowells. They'll be coming out. So if you're looking for some good exercise, we got activities. If you're looking for good entertainment, we have it. Our famous bratwurst will be there again this year.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
What kind of activities? You said if you want to, be active.
To get involved, we have the Run and Walk on Sunday.
Right. Okay.
So that's
And
available
that's for all
people.
ages?
All ages, yeah. We even, one of them is only a mile. Bring the family out. We have the doubles tennis tournament going on over the weekend, and that's all 3 days. The basketball tournament is 2 days of the event for the youth. So it's just a lot
I have
of
to
fun.
say I'm impressed with the amount of activities that you have all rolled into this weekend.
We actually got our city pool opened for a free swim for the kids, so that will be going on as well.
Well, thank you, Amanda. It sounds like a great event, and it's from East County here, even from Portland. It's just a nice little drive up the gorge, and it would be a great way to spend a weekend. So we'll have the information on the screen. People want to find out more about it, they can go to the website.
And our website is www.whitesalmonspringfestival.com, and I hope to see you this weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And if you are looking for something to do, now you know where you can go. So don't go away. We'll be right back with a little more serious subject, but something you want to hear about. So I'll be right back on Community Hotline.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live.
In 3, 2, 1.
How would I do a commercial to help stop child abuse? I would start by telling the world that I know the pain of abuse. Then I would say something really creative that would inspire people to do something to stop it. And I would end on a hopeful note about how they can make a difference and keep kids like me safe.
Help stop child abuse. Call or find us online. The Children's Center, a place where healing begins.
I love my bus driver because he gets me to school on time and I'll never be late.
I love my bus driver because of the fact that they've seen my children and ourselves grow.
Every one of them's been kind and efficient. They're always courteous.
They're part of my neighborhood, part of my everyday.
They help out people when it's unnecessary.
From me being pregnant and going to the doctor's appointment on the bus to now taking them to school and just being familiar with them. And that's what I love about my bus driver.
It's a great system and I like the way it runs.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. And now for our last segment of the evening, we're going to be talking with the Oregon Foster Youth Connection. Here to represent, we have Samson Jones. You're the adult supporter. And Jonathan Dreyer, you are the OFYC leadership, correct?
Correct.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you both coming in tonight.
Absolutely.
So, why don't you give me a little background on the Oregon Foster Youth Connection? Why was this organization formed?
So this organization was formed for a number of reasons, mainly to address current system status, so the child welfare system specifically. There's a lot of stagnant policy energy, and we thought, we being Pamela Heisler, who formed the organization, thought that it would be a great idea to form a youth-led organization representing foster youth.
So both of you were in the system at one time, is that correct? So you've got that firsthand knowledge of what it was like to be in that system. So are most of the people that are in this organization have that experience, so they can speak directly to the issues?
Yeah. So the Oregon Foster Youth Connection is a group of current and former foster youth advocating to change the system in Oregon. We work with various national partners such as Foster Youth in Action, Foster Club, and many others.
Advocacy work? Is that what we're talking about mostly, or?
Mostly advocacy work.
Okay. So, Jonathan, as the leadership, what exactly do you do?
I'm more or less just a member. However, I did assume a leader position it was like a few months ago. I really just helped around we do a lot of action opportunities rather. And so that involves us just kind of going out. We do a lot of youth panels and spreading the word.
So what is the word that you want to get out there? What is the message?
The message, at least as it means to me, just to kind of, foster youth need some help. So we're out there to kind of help out with youth rights through advocacy and leadership, and just want everyone to know that we're doing the best we can to improve the foster care system one day at a time.
I think that's admirable. Sam, what do you see as like one of the biggest obstacles to a good I don't want to say this, a good foster home situation? I mean, what are the things that really cause problems for kids?
Mainly, I would say a lot of, okay, well, I'll just take the teen example. A lot of foster parents won't adopt teens, which is a large body of what makes up the foster care system, at least in Oregon, because they lash out, they have a bad history, etc.
They're teenagers.
They're teenagers and they're in foster care. So I think there's another degree of compassion that needs to be considered if they are to be a foster parent. So
that's not easy. It's not easy to, to take in kids that, have already had a life before and assimilate them into your home. I'm sure that, but there's some great organizations doing some pretty awesome stuff, like yours, doing the advocacy work, educating people. Bridge Meadows, you familiar with that? I love what they're doing. So when you say you want to, or educate people or have a little more compassion, what would you say to somebody who said, I couldn't possibly adopt an older child? I mean, do you have something you would say to them directly that would maybe change their mind?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if I'd really want to change their mind about that, because I think if they're not ready for that, then it's probably for the better, because at least they know that. A lot of people go into that role assuming much about that role, and they are in turn not ready for it, and so it's just this big, long derailment of situations.
A lot of disappointment for everybody, I imagine.
Yeah.
So what do you think, the work, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to add just a little bit about some of the current legacy or some of the current legislative action that's going on right now. House Bill 2889 and 2890 just passed the House and also the Senate committee, and are on their way to the Senate, the full Senate, next week. So.
And what will those bills do?
What are the bills again?
So our bills are to pass for extracurricular activities, so for youth in school at least, to be required to have the option
of being involved in those extracurricular
yeah,
activities?
being involved in something like soccer or like football or maybe
things that maybe cost money that maybe the foster families don't have.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the idea that you deserve to be able to do those extracurricular activities too?
Definitely, yeah, because it's really tough going through foster care and like school when your foster parents can't really afford the activities, and so I think it's for either DHS or the foster parents, for somebody to fund at least one activity. That way they can have some sort of normalcy and a little extra learning.
Yeah.
And then another bill that we're also trying to get passed is for youth in care to be able to have the option of having a savings account so that they can save money, so that way when they get old enough to live on their own, they're covered and
They've
able
got
to.
something to start out with. That
Yep.
makes sense. So those things you have to actually have legislative action to make happen. That's that's things that I think a lot of people don't even ponder, never think about. So a lot of what you do is really educating people as to the situation. So as a community member, what can I do to help?
I think this is a really great opportunity right here, being a part of MetroEast Community Media. Pat
Nice
yourself on the
job,
back. Because I mean, just getting the word out, getting people knowledgeable about what the foster care system is, what the child welfare system is, what the juvenile justice system is, all these systems that govern the choices of families and children. And by governing, I mean in the courthouse on daily, there's dialogues that are sustained and choices that are made on behalf of others by party of, either a few or many individuals that may or may not represent the true
The desires or the needs maybe of
the
those
families
kids.
that are being met. Yeah.
What are some of the issues that as a kid growing up that you felt what needs weren't met?
Jonathan, would you like to elaborate?
So some issues that I thought maybe should have been fixed a lot more was a lot of foster parents foster parents. One of my main problems was that they thought they could handle having a couple of extra kids in their household, and turns out it didn't work out so well.
So they weren't prepared to have 2 extra or however many kids living with them. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
When you have a kid and it grows up there, you start assimilating it in, but getting a couple just boom like that.
It's very important to be prepared and ready, because if you don't, if you're not even a little bit sure that you can do it, then I would caution against it, because youth in care, they have many different forms of, different backgrounds. It could be traumatic, or they're just moving from house to house, so it's really stressful. So you have to kind of.
I think that would be one of the hardest things, not having that stability and not having that place that you could, that you always knew was your home.
Mm-hmm.
Did you both have several different homes that you lived in growing up?
Yeah, I got the portfolio, the file number 0011. Okay.
And excuse me if I'm being too personal, but really,
it's interesting that you bring that up, because a lot of times another part of that issue is that foster youth are oftentimes associated with how many the first thing that comes is like how many placements have they already been in, which I'll disclose. I was in over 10 homes, and I've experienced group homes, residential homes, a variety of experiences along the way. And I feel like what that did for me is like prepared me for the world in a really raw way, where I saw a lot of things at a young age that maybe could have been introduced and structured from if I had some nice parental figures, I could have figured out some things a little bit easier.
Or ways of coping with things,
yes,
or
exactly.
assimilating things that maybe other kids had a better way to do that. Yeah, that would be tough. So, do you talk with kids that are in the foster system right now? I mean, you obviously work with some of them in this organization, but what about kids that are not involved in this organization and that are having issues? Is there any outreach to kids in the foster system from your organization?
I do have a lot of friends actually that are from the foster care background that are actually still in the system. I have a lot more, surprisingly, than I don't. We do have a few resources. We recently established an ombudsman line, so that foster youth, if they're having an issue with their house or their household or the foster parents, or maybe it's like a group home incident, they can just call in and try and get support and see if they can fix the problem versus just suffering through it and not really having anybody to help them out.
So it's almost like a crisis line or a counseling line, depending on what their needs are.
Yeah.
What do we call it? A yes line?
Yeah, it's the
yes line.
The yes line. I forget exactly what it stands for.
Is that an acronym for something?
A many of acronyms, of many.
Yeah, OFYC. That doesn't really spell anything, but so with this organization, you've taken on some leadership roles, but obviously, what has it done for you being part of it? I mean, as far as that goes.
So before this organization, I was actually completely clueless as to I only was knowledgeable of the stereotypes of foster youth and the whole system, but since joining the organization, my eyes have been open pretty big, and I learned a lot.
Do you find you can speak out, obviously, articulate very well about the situation? I would think that would be a big help.
Yeah, definitely.
In any area of your life.
I learned a little more on how to focus my words and how to make it my needs more apparent and different ways I can reach out, and I learned all these different resources and made some friends along the way. And
that's all good. All good stuff. How about you, Sam?
I have had this organization I have nothing but good things to say about this organization. I've been involved since 2008, and
that's a long time.
A lot of great people have come in and out of my life since then. I've had national opportunities to help organize conferences around foster youth issues, mainly helping other youth in other states experience another opportunity to have basically help other youth provide them with a better future or better an opportunity when they do exit care or while they're in care. And so really the networking has been tremendous for my understanding of the ongoing issues nationally. Other than that, I've made some really close friends, some really great allies that have really helped me stay grounded and aware of my actions in the community and also just my own personal self. So I would just say, yeah. The other thing is that we're a program of a nonprofit called Children First for Oregon, and they help us get all of our bills to the Capitol. We have what's the lobbyist's name there? What's his name? Kevin?
I think so. I forget his name at the moment.
Let's just say it's Kevin. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. So yeah.
So how's the funding for your organization? Does it come from Children First? I mean, how do you?
We fundraise. We put out grants. So Kevin is a lobbyist so we have people with various. So we have a grant writer, people who have different asks amounts for whatever we're doing. So since we're a youth-led organization, it works a little bit differently because we have other co-signers applying for those grants. And so federally, we receive the money differently, mainly for, youth engagement. So I will say that yes, Children First helps us raise the money for Oregon Foster Youth Connection, and then Oregon Foster Youth Connection acts upon those asks. So in a lot of ways, yeah, we're interdependent of one another.
Okay. Really, you guys do a really good job of explaining this. We're just about out of time, so tell me, what else do we need to know? How can somebody be involved if they want to be involved, or do you need volunteers? Do you need people to be involved with this, besides being educated?
I'll just say, yeah, there's a Facebook page, Oregon Foster Youth Connection.
Like us.
Like us on Facebook for the millionth time.
Yeah. We're working on a Twitter account too. Yeah. I actually don't know where that went to,
but our official website is oryouthconnection.org. You can find any more information on that website. If you have any information at all about our community, feel free to reach out.
Cool. I love it. Thank you very much. And I really think, if nothing else, you've gained some great skills as far as negotiating and talking and, advocating. So nice job.
Cool.
Thanks very much for watching Community Hotline tonight. Hope you've learned something. I know I have. And do come back and visit us next week. We'll be right here at the same time. I'm Monica Weitzel. Good night. Nicely done, God.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.
How would I do a commercial to help stop child abuse? I would start by telling the world that I know the pain of abuse. Then I would say something really creative that would inspire people to do something to stop it. And I would end on a hopeful note about how they can make a difference and keep kids like me safe.
Help stop child abuse. Call or find us online. The Children's Center, a place where healing begins.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live.
In 3, 2, 1.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to feedthepig.